I want to talk about something a lot of shows have done to lose my interest over the years. Something that just really annoys and exhausts me to my core. And that is too much tragedy. If I want to watch a tragedy, which I don't usually, I'll do that. Other shows can get their drama without continuously torturing their characters. So, let's talk about why too much tragedy can be the death of a show. Or any story, really, but I've encountered this most in TV. Let's start with that I'm absolutely not saying a show should always be completely free from tragedy or any kind of sadness. If all shows were like that, that would end up being incredibly boring, but as the saying goes, all things in moderation. It's important to find a balance between happiness and sadness. And it's important that all the happiness in your story, whatever that may be, is not purely build up so you can tear it all away in the next moment. Your audience will, if you're doing your job right, form attachments to your characters. They'll hurt when your characters hurt, and too much of that will get exhausting. They'll get what I'm calling tragedy fatigue. I don't know if that's already an accepted term, but it describes the situation well enough. And when they get to the point where they have tragedy fatigue, either sunk cost fallacy will kick in, or they'll just drop the show completely. One is significantly healthier than the other, but neither really leaves them content with where they are. This is mainly a problem I've encountered in long-running shows that feel the need to up the stakes continuously throughout, which, as a side note, is entirely unnecessary. There are ways to move your story forwards without putting your characters in increasingly dire situations every season. Actually, quite simple ways, really. You just have to allow for change. There's also another problem that can arise from tragedy fatigue, and that is loss of trust. As a creator, you absolutely cannot ever afford to lose the trust of your audience. Because when you lose your audience's trust, you lose a significant amount of the power you hold to affect them emotionally. If you've put your character through too much, to the point that when you actually want to start giving them good things, it just doesn't seem feasible, your audience will have the opposite reaction to what you intend. Say you want to give a guy who's lost his family a new one, but you've put this character through too much. He's lost too many people close to him. Your audience is expecting you to pull a fast one on them again. They're gonna watch all scenes of him being happy with his new family with an ever-growing sense of dread. They're not gonna be happy because he's happy. They'll be watching it expecting everything to go wrong yet again. Which will lead to one of two outcomes. Either they're right, but the line of events wherein your character loses everything yet again becomes much less emotionally impactful and more of a resigned, yeah, I fucking knew it, god damn it. Or they're wrong and they're left pleasantly surprised, but with none of the emotional catharsis they were supposed to experience during this portion. There's also a multitude of other ways to write conflict than just tragic adversity. But here's the thing, most of them involve changing your character in some way, moving their story forwards from their starting point, changing either them or their circumstances. Continuous tragedy is an easy, lazy way to keep your character stuck in one place while also piling way too many traumas for one story onto their shoulders. Even little things can add on to tragedy fatigue. If there's something your characters have been working at for a while, it's been going on in the background for maybe a season or so, and then they suddenly have to drop it for some reason, even that will add to things. Taking, for example, a couple who've been planning to build a house. They have the ground selected, they have plans and builders on call, and then for whatever reason, the area turns out to not be good for them after all. That's the kind of little thing, rather easily fixable in the grand scheme of things, that can still completely tip the scales if this couple has had too much adversity in their past. The next time they get some major good news, your audience might find themselves wondering, alright, so how is this gonna go terribly wrong? And that's almost never the mood you want your audience in. Actually, I can't really think of a single example where you'd actually want your audience in that mood, because it bears with it a kind of resignation that will only make the emotional impact of your story suffer in the long run. In closing, please let your audience breathe. Let your characters move forwards in their lives, have genuine, lasting victories. You don't have to always be nice to them, but a little can go a long way. There's a reason Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet, or insert literally any other well-known tragedy here, aren't 15-season monstrosities, and it's because watching people suffer for that long would be exhausting. Any positive catharsis the audience could get from it would shrivel up and die real quick. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you stick around. Bye.